They just dropped. Raquel Welch just dropped 3 new styles. I've got 2 of them and we're going to check them out right now. I'll be unboxing both of these, of course. I haven't taken them out of the box. I told you I've been really good about these. I'd like to thank Frannie's Hair for sending over cruise control and flash forward over to me so I could review it for all of you. The links to cruise control and flash forward will be listed down below for you in the description box. Let's see. I read the specs on these and I'm thinking, okay, Hair You Wear, manufacturer of Raquel Welch. Let's see how much truth there in these specs. Let's start out with cruise control. Is in shaded cappuccino, which is RL1222SS, one of my favorite colors from Raquel Welch. You know, I'm going to tell you exactly what I see, whether I agree with those specs or not. And I'll tell you what the specs say, and then I'll show you. I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to show you. And oh, I will leave timestamps listed down below for you in the description box in case you want to see one style and not the other. All right. I'll tell you what the specs say. In other words, what Raquel Welch or Hair You Wear says about this. Let's see. They say it has an extended lace. They say it's kind of contradicting because they say it has an extended lace front, and then when I look further on the specs, it says a temple to temple lace front. Okay, it is an extended lace front. Now here's something that I was a bit confused about. When I read the specs, it says mono crown. Well, no, there's no mono crown here. A mono crown is that monofilament right at the crown, and there is not one. Then if I looked further down in the specs, it said that it had a full mono top, and there it is. And I'll show you how it looks once I have it on my head. We have felt covered ear tabs. Then it says it's 100% hand-tied. No, just what I thought. It's not 100% hand-tied. 100% hand-tied is this kind of soft material that has lots of stretch throughout the entire cap. I know, I always gripe about this, but I feel like you really should know. We have wefts, covered wefts, and there's no stretch there. In my experience with Raquel Welch, every time they do this, the caps seem to run a little bit smaller because we don't have any stretch in either direction. Whereas in the hand-tied portion, there is stretch. So we'll see how this looks. And no, I don't care if Raquel Welch gets upset at me for what I say. I don't care. I'm going to tell you the truth. We have an extended nape. We have Velcro adjusters. I did see somewhere that it said something about hook adjusters on the specs. I don't see any hooks on here at all. What I do see are the Velcro adjusters. So I want to make you aware of that. These are the Raquel Welch True to Life fibers. This means that they are heat-friendly fibers. Oh, the distribution on the color on this is beautiful. You know, in my experience, shaded cappuccino will vary quite a bit from one style to another, but the distribution on cruise control is beautiful. Let's see what it looks like. I'm going to leave the adjusters where they are. I'm not going to cinch it in because I do have collar length hair. I'm wearing a wig cap. I'm wearing a wig grip. And because there's no stretch on my 21.5-inch circumference, we'll see how it fits. My other 2 measurements are petite average. Okay, just what I thought. It feels short on my, and I can't remember what my measurement is on the front to back. Taking into consideration my wig cap, hair, and wig grip, yeah, it's right there. So if you have an average large, I would steer away from this one because it won't fit. Raquel Welch styles, in my experience, tend to have the density tends to be a little bit high. Let's see, cruise control weighs 4.65 ounces. I have long wigs, 22 inches, that weigh less than this. So just something for you to keep in mind. If you love a good amount of hair, you will love it. If you prefer a light density piece, this you may want to consider another style. I love the color. The lace front on Raquel Welch are impeccable. Beautiful, beautiful lace fronts. As you can see, they've added some of the lighter fibers to the lace. It seems a bit bandy to me, you know, with the band with the lighter fibers. I personally like those lighter fibers on the front, but if you don't, please be aware of it, at least on this color. I do have good coverage on the ear tabs, as you can see, and here as well. There is good coverage. So where it's falling short on is on the front to back. The ear to ear fit me fine. The circumference fits me fine. But because we have those wefts on the bottom, there's no stretch, therefore it's feeling a little bit short. I would say that if you have a true average or a little bit on the larger end of average on your front to back measurement, it may fit you small. Let's take a look at the monofilament. Beautifully, beautifully done. It's not dense, it parts beautifully. So we have that multi-directional parting where you will have the illusion of scalp regardless of where you part it, on the left, on the right, off center, in the center, it doesn't matter. I'm going to add some water to it. I think the style is beautiful. I think the style is absolutely beautiful. Has a really nice length to it. I am going to add a little bit of heat to make sure it stays off my face, but I wouldn't consider it a face flopper at all. You can tuck it if you just move the hair over quite a bit. And Raquel Welch fibers are so nice, such beautiful, beautiful fibers. Very classy type look. The measurements on cruise control, we have a front of 11 inches. So right here, this is all one length. The front and the back are 11 inches. The sides are 7.5 inches. So we have a few layers up here. But overall, it's basically all the same length. It's almost like the perfect bob. Really, really pretty. I don't know if you'd be able to add bangs to it. You can add the bangs, I would think, and add a little bit of layering on the side if that's something that you want to do. If you don't want to add those layerings on the side, then what'll happen is you'll have the bang and then straight down to the sides. If that's a look that you like, then go for it. But I want to point it out that that's what'll happen. Okay, my overall opinion, I think it's really pretty. Oh yeah, it's really, really pretty. I mean, that's my first impression. I know it sounded like I was totally dogging it, but I wasn't dogging it. I was just giving you the facts on it. And my gripe isn't with with the style itself. It's with hair you wear for doing this with the 100% hand tied part. Just say it's partially hand tied. That will be perfect. All right, let's talk about the color. RL1222SS, shaded cappuccino. The 12 is a medium brown, and it's blended with the 22, which is the blonde. This is a neutral color, leaning cool. We have lighter fibers on the front, and just a really pretty color. Love this color. If you want something a little bit cooler than shaded cappuccino, take a look at shaded iced cappuccino. All the iced colors in Raquel Welch are going to be cool colors. Because this top part is hand tied, we're not going to have any permatease. So what you're seeing is a little bit of the extra density is what the extra, the higher density. What Raquel Welch does with these partially hand-tied caps is that they don't add any permatease to the top part where we have the hand tied, but what they do is they add a little bit of extra fibers in order to provide a bit of a lift and some volume to it. Once again, if you prefer a very light density piece, this one may not be for you. But if you like a good average, maybe a little bit more than average, I think you would like it. It's a gorgeous style, especially if you like these bobs. I didn't tell you, I told you the front and the back are 11 inches, the sides are 7.5 inches, and the crown is 12 inches. We have a 10-inch nape, and cruise control weighs 4.65 ounces. That'll give you an idea of the density on it. But as far as permatease, it's only at the nape where we have those wefts. All right, let's take a look at flash forward. My flash forward is in the color Shaded Ice Cafe Latte, which is RL9 24SS. Since I've got Shaded Cappuccino on my head, let me just show it to you side by side. On Shaded Ice Cafe Latte, the base is going to be a little bit darker because a 9 is darker than a 12. So we do have a darker base, and the highlights are going to be a little bit lighter. But Shaded Ice Cafe Latte, because it's part of the Ice collection, it will be a cool color. On Flash Forward, we have a full mono top. We have an extended lace front, a cap, what do they call it? A memory cap 3, which has the silicone and it kind of molds to your head. It just adheres really nicely to the head. We have an extended nape, and we have Velcro adjusters. Now, flash forward should fit a little bit larger, if you will, because we have those wefts on the back, unlike the covered wefts that we have on cruise control that just kind of locks those wefts in so you don't have any stretch. You know what? Maybe what they mean by a mono crown, maybe it's not the mono crown that we're used to seeing so much with the monofilament, but rather, you see how it almost seems as if the hair is growing from there? It's probably the way the fibers are sewn in that is why they're saying that it has a mono crown. I hadn't noticed it. I mean, I read the specs and I hadn't taken it out of the box. But now that I look at it this way, right there, it almost gives the illusion that the hair is coming out right out from the crown. All right, going to slip on flash forward. Okay, flash forward weighs 3.5 ounces. This has some serious box hair. See that right here? That's box hair, but that's fixable. Just a cool soak, and that will fix it. We don't have any permatease because we have that full monofilament top. We're just going to ignore that box hair on the front. We have some of the lighter fibers on the front. I'm going to add some water. It does fit a little bit bigger, so I will need to cinch this one in. The fibers feel a little drier than they do on cruise control. On cruise control, the fibers feel very light and wispy. On flash forward, they feel a little dry, kind of like we find on some of the regular synthetic fibers, something like that. So if you prefer, maybe it's that the denier is a little bit thicker. That could be it. Let's take a look at the parting. It doesn't appear to show that seam between the lace front and or the silicone between the lace front and the monofilament. We can part it anywhere we like and still have the illusion of scalp. It's not dense, so you can certainly part it anywhere you like. Yeah, definitely some box hair, but that's really not a problem. I mean, if you like the style, you like the way it looks, you like the color, give it a cool soak, 5 minutes, and hang it up to dry, and that'll be fine. We do have a good amount of density right around here. We do have permatease on the crown and surrounding the monofilament. So that's this volume that you have up here. If you like volume, if you want some height, then you're going to get it from Flash Forward. There's quite a bit of permatease all around, just making you aware. The weight is 3.5 ounces, but while we don't have a high density here, we do have a good amount of permatease. So if you prefer no permatease or minimal permatease, you might want to consider another style. We do have good coverage. Here are the ear tabs. The measurements on Flash Forward. The front is 5.5 inches. So if you wanted to add some bangs on this one, you can do that because they're not long and we have some layers here. It would be a matter of trimming. We have some of those layers on the sides. The sides are also 5.5 inches, as is the back, 5.5 inches. The crown is 7.5 inches and the nape is 5.5. So we basically have a pretty same measurements on the front, the sides, and the back. But we do have some layers that the specs don't provide the measurements for. Okay, let's take a look at it on all sides. I think that if you like a shorter style, but you don't want it very short, you like a little bit of permatease, you want that volume, you want that height, I think this will be a really nice style. And we have a beautiful lace front and a great and the monofilament, which allows you to part it in any direction that you like. The color, Shaded Ice Cafe Latte. As I mentioned, we have that 9, which is just a little bit darker than a medium brown. And we have Blonde Highlights, that 24. And this is a cool color. We have the root is a little bit darker. I don't know. I think that with a little bit of work, this one will look good. And these kind of flippies back here, if you don't care for them, you could just use a flat iron or a curling iron and turn them down, or use a flat iron if you want to make them straight. That wouldn't be a problem. Thank you, everyone. Let me know what you think about these new Raquel Welch styles. I would love to hear from you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.